Good morning, and thank you for joining me on another episode where I take a book and from that book I find a bar. Now, a bar is a short, valuable nugget of information for us to feed our minds. This is
Breakfast Bars! Breakfast Bars!
Breakfast Bars! This is Breakfast Bars!
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Breakfast Bars. I'm your host, Cooper Prindle. Let's go ahead and feed our mind with today's book, which is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. Jocko is an incredible human being, complete savage, beast, ruthless, but in a way that is respectable and, is insane to want to, something that I look to mimic because of that discipline and that leadership. Actually, behind the camera here, I'm drinking some of his tea. So shout out Jocko, not only on this book, but his tea. It's a pomegranate white tea, delicious. Thank you, Jocko, for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive in and see what kind of bars Jocko is going to bless us with. We got big paragraphs underlined here. Let's find a bar. Alright, he says, a critical component of leadership is dealing with people's egos. And you can do so by having extreme ownership. Think about that. So obviously this book is talking about being a leader. This is in the part on checking your ego. That's a critical component of leadership, is managing and dealing with other people's egos. So you need to be able to have the awareness, first off. If you want to be a great leader, you need to have massive awareness. I don't think you need to be 100% accurate with that awareness. You could think, oh, this person is, acting this way because of this. But end up being wrong. I think you need the nimbleness too and the ability to diverge and to not have your own ego, right? If you thought something about a person or a situation and you end up being wrong, well then that's checking your own ego and saying, no, okay, I can correct this. I can know that I was wrong and this is actually the reality. But he says also having extreme ownership is how to deal with other people's egos. And the way I take this is by saying, okay, if you have ownership, that means it's on you. Even if it's someone else who's acting like an ass or, they just are not a good leader because they are too focused and worried about themselves versus the collective. A lot of people, and it's easy to say, oh, well, this person, it's their fault, they did X, Y, Z, there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there's nothing you can do about it except have extreme ownership. It's a stoic philosophy way of thinking. Only worry about the things you can control. The things you can control, worry about those and do the best to control those. The things you can't control, it's out of your hands. So someone else's ego is something you can't control. What you can control is having that extreme ownership on, okay, maybe this is a way I communicated with them. It didn't resonate with them. Let's change it up so that we can effectively communicate with them to get them to do something. Or it could even be as hard as, they screwed up something. Someone on your team screwed up something and has the ego to not take ownership with it but yet you're the leader, so you have to take that ownership. That is extreme ownership. So again, the bar is a critical component of leadership, is dealing with people's egos. And you can do so by using extreme ownership. Always, at the end of the day, any situation, conversation, whatever it is, give yourself the power by ultimately putting it back on yourself. Now, it can be challenging, definitely. It can be hard. It can be a lot of pain with that, because then everything falls back on you. But once you learn how to harness that, extreme ownership is what separates the goods from the greats. Have some extreme ownership, take it with you, apply it to everything else, and start incorporating that. Take care. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Just a reminder, you can find Breakfast Bars on iTunes, YouTube, and Instagram by searching Breakfast Bars. On Instagram, it's at breakfast.bars. Would mean a lot to me if you left me a review, subscribed, follow, and of course, if you find value in Breakfast Bars, if you like hearing them daily, go ahead and please share it with a friend, someone you know that wants to receive some daily bars.